Hi, I'm Tim from PC Gamer.
And I'm Bo.
And we're here to reveal our card from Hearthstone's Knights of the Frozen Throne expansion. That's harder to say than I imagined it would be.
Yeah.
We previously announced cards like Argent Horse Rider and Glacial Shard, so I think our track record's quite good.
Yeah, there've been some pretty solid cards.
Those are cards that have seen some play. The card we're here to tell you about today, with no further ado, is a rogue card. It's a spell called Roll the Bones. But what does it do?
So it's a 2-mana rogue spell. It's a rare card, and the card reads: draw a card, and if that card has Deathrattle, cast this again.
So this is the cast this again part is what's interesting. This is a new thing they've added to spells with the Knights of the Frozen Throne.
Right.
It seems like they're going to give each class one of them because Druid has Spreading Plague, which summons Taunt guys depending on how many the other your opponent has, and Warlock has that spell Defile, which clears the board on a kind of like it's a domino effect style
type thing. Yeah, but
this is a card which obviously we don't have to be geniuses, and certainly aren't, to predict like if you're going to run this card, it's going to be in Deathrattle decks.
Yeah.
And we've had a go at building a...
we've attempted it. So the nice thing about this is like Deathrattle Rogue is already a deck type. Like it exists. It's kind of a thing. Their Rogue has some relatively powerful Deathrattle cards. The thing is in Standard right now, Deathrattle Rogue is a little bit out of vogue because, you know, Unearthed Raptor is no longer in Standard.
Yeah, we tried to build a deck in Standard and we ended up kind of going down the route of the Jade package because you can run Jade Swarmer and Eye of Blackpool, which is some you know, relatively powerful Deathrattle effects. And you start thinking then about Nzoth and Blood Mage Thanos and stuff. But when you go into Wild and you compare this with Piloted Shredder, Sludge Belcher, all those cards you love to play against, Sylvanas, of course.
Yeah, that Wild is definitely, this card's going to see some play in that Deathrattle Rogue Wild deck for sure.
The thing I think we were trying to wrestle with a little bit was how many Deathrattle cards do you need to make sure you're actually getting value off this? Because if you just draw one card, then you're basically playing Novice Engineer but not getting a 1/1.
Right.
That's not good.
It's not good. I mean, that's the thing to think about is like just because you don't need to get insane, crazy, draw like 8 cards off this card to get value. Like
it would probably be bad.
That would be probably a bad thing. It's only a 2-mana spell, so really, if you draw 1, that's bad. If you draw 2, it's quite good, and if you draw 3, like it's bonkers.
Yeah.
So
and for that reason, I think it will get used in Wild by people who want to play that Deathrattle kind of.
Yeah, I think you can build a heavy Deathrattle deck with like upwards of 20 Deathrattle cards and use it almost as like a late game hand refiller, Divine Favor type card where, you know, you might not, like, even if you draw it in the early game, you might want to hold on to it, wait, and then use it to refill your hand, draw a bunch of cheap Deathrattle cards to then, you know, have as a both hand refill and fuel for your Nzoth.
How sad is it going to be when you roll the bones into Roll the Bones?
Oh no, that'd be terrible.
This is a fun card though, and I think a pretty decent one. Let us know what you think about it in the comments, and we'll see you on the ladder when the set launches later in August.